G'day and welcome back to the channel, Ginger Ninja's Movie Reviews. I am the Ginger Ninja and these are my Trashy Tuesday movie reviews. If you're new to my channel, thank you very much for tuning in, stopping by and checking it out. If you could, please do give this video a thumbs up and of course subscribe to my channel for future content. Now, it's been a couple of weeks and yeah, this was a tough one. Not gonna lie, straight up. Look, Return to Nukeemhigh Volume 1, I loved. I thought that was great. It had a lot of elements from the original Class of Nukeemhigh. It was gross. It was fun. It was just troma. This one, this was tough. I'll be honest with you. Yeah. But anyway, let's get into it. And look, before I do want to say a big thank you to all my returning viewers. Obviously, I was, MIA for a little bit, but I'm back now. And yeah, you'll start seeing some more content coming out very soon. So thank you. Anyway, Return to Nukeemhigh Volume 2 from 2017. This film was directed by none other than Lloyd Kaufman. The film stars returning actors from the previous one, Asta Paredes, Catherine Corcoran, hope I'm pronouncing that right, Zach Amico, Lloyd Kaufman, Mark Torgel, Debbie Rochon, Henry Zabowski, and Lemmy. Yeah. So anyway, this film was actually dedicated to Lemmy as well. He obviously passed away, and I'm guessing Lemmy was a huge fan of Troma because he's appeared here and there in a lot of Troma films. He was in the first one. He had a guest appearance in Citizen Toxie, I believe it was. Yeah, Toxic Avenger Part 4, Citizen Toxie. He had a cameo role on that. So let's get into it. Following the events of the previous film, a lesbian couple are determined to eliminate the most corrupt, evil forces of Tromaville and the world. Wow. Tromaville maybe, but they don't really get too far out of that. But anyway, like I said, I really enjoyed the first one. Yeah, and as with most of the Nukeemhigh series, they're generally smart, witty, they've got enough gross out humor to keep me entertained. So I did have high hopes for this one. However, it was delayed a lot between Return to Nukeemhigh Volume 1 and Return to Nukeemhigh Volume 2. There was a delay though. I think it was crowdfunded and things like that. So yeah, okay, there's a bit of a disconnect between the two. But this picks up directly where Volume 1 finished. We have a 15-minute gross shower birth scene that involves a lot of naked women, a lot of blood, and a lot of slime. So if that's your thing, you're definitely in for a treat with this film. But if it ain't, then this ain't for you. Now look, I'm a huge fan of Troma. Like I've mentioned, I do enjoy their films. But wow, this is one hell of a way to kickstart the movie. And yes, they did something very similar in the first film with, there was a teenage couple getting it on in a basement and things fall down, slime, blood, guts. That was, So it's kind of standard. So I don't know what I was expecting, if I was expecting something more. But look, the plot, for lack of a better term, it does pick up directly where the first one left off. We have Chrissy and Lauren battling mutant freaks created by the toxic waste at Tromaville High School. It continues to dive into the ridiculousness with the mutants, with these absurd characters and these bizarre subplots. And they're all swirling together in this chaotic mess that's confusing and entertaining. But it's, this is not about the story. It's about the experience. All right, so let's have a look at the cast. And look, the cast, not traditionally great. by mainstream standards, they are fully committed to the film's outrageousness, enhancing the overall experience with their enthusiastic and over-the-top performances. Asta Paredes and Catherine Corcoran return as Lauren and Chrissy, and they deliver performances that are equal parts sincere and silly, and they perfectly capture the film's blend of camp and chaos. Lloyd Kaufman is back in a typically zany role, which actually links back to the very first Class of Nukeemhigh. I did enjoy that throwback there. I thought that was really good. But Lloyd Kaufman is, and he does embody the spirit of Troma with his off-the-wall antics. The fart sniffing and whatnot was just fucking weird. But hey, it's Troma. The other characters range from mutant freaks to sleazy villains, and they're all portrayed with tongue firmly in cheek. Now, it's clear that these actors are having fun, and their enthusiasm in these roles, it is quite infectious, much like the slime is looking infectious in the movie, but even sometimes it does cross the line into excessive campiness. Would have been better to be toned back just a tad. Now onto the directing and the writing, and look, the tone is pure Troma. It's a mix of juvenile humour, gross out gags, and politically incorrect jokes. There's no taboo too sacred to be skewered, no joke too crass to be included. The film's humour is not for everyone. And if you're easily offended, this movie's not for you. Like, seriously, why are you watching it? Don't. You're just going to hurt yourself. But look, one of the major issues with the film itself was the pacing. And it can be quite jarring at times because the breakneck speed of the action and constant barrage of gags will no doubt thrill hardcore fans, but it will leave others feeling exhausted, trying to keep track of everything that's going on with all the bright colours and slime and blood and, birthing human ducks. That was weird. But that's carried on from the first one. There's just so much happening on screen, and it's often happening at the same time. So it does feel difficult to keep track of the plot, what little there is. And it just, because there is so much going on, there's never any real tension or suspense. And beneath the layers of slime and absurdity, there is a surprisingly sharp social commentary at work. And that's one thing that these Troma films have always done really well. This film takes aim at, big corporations, environmental issues, and the hypocrisy of modern society, all through the lens of Tromaville's outlandish world. The satire is far from subtle. It's effective in its own bombastic way. And Troma has always used humour and horror to highlight the darker sides of humanity. And Volume 2 is no exception. It does that in the most exaggerated and grotesque way possible. Now onto the effects. And true to Troma's legacy, the special effects in Volume 2 are unique. They're a mix of practical gore, cheesy CGI, and low-budget ingenuity. You can expect buckets of blood, over-the-top mutations, and grotesque creatures. These are as hilarious as they are horrifying. The production design is as eclectic as it gets, with everything from bizarre high school hallways to mutant lairs that are rendered in this vivid neon-soaked colour. The CGI, however, is where this film drops the ball. The CGI is just not good. And it shows the lower budget and how it can affect a movie overall. Previous Troma films have stuck with practical effects, and that's where they excel. Bad CGI is just bad. Now on to rewatchability, and look, as much as I enjoyed the first Return to Nukeemhigh Volume 1, this one really didn't hit the same notes. It felt forced, and it was lacking a certain something that the original film had. So really, would I rewatch this one? It's unlikely, which is unfortunate because I really had high hopes. The first film, loved it to pieces. This one, it's a continuation. So as one film, it should work. It just doesn't. For some reason, it just felt, it just didn't hit those notes for me. So, final verdict. And Return to Nukeemhigh, aka Volume 2, is not a film for everyone. As with most Troma films, this is a film that knows exactly what it is. It's a wild and chaotic and unapologetically trashy entry into the Troma universe. It's crude, it's loud, it's offensive. It's everything that makes Troma unique. Fans of Troma's earlier work, or anyone who enjoys a so bad it's good genre, will probably find something to take away from this one. I just didn't enjoy it as a follow-up to a film that I really did enjoy. Overall, for a score, I would give this one a 5 out of 10. And there you have it. That is Return to Nukeemhigh, aka Volume 2. What do we do for the next Trashy Tuesday? Well, who knows? Obviously, there's been a bit of delay in getting my videos out because, I've been unwell. That's, I'm going to get some more out now. However, I was planning on doing Argento August. That's obviously taken a little bit of a slight delay. I will still be doing a couple of Argento films for August. So, Trashy Tuesday, Franchise Friday will be back for 4 weeks in September. Then October rolls around, and yes, 31 days of Halloween, 31 days of horror films. I have them all lined up, ready to go. These are ones that I either have not seen or have not seen in a long time. And there will be probably a few that are somewhat quite surprising for a lot of people. I don't want to give any spoilers, but they're well-known horror films that I just haven't seen. Some of them. Others are not well-known and probably pretty shit. But, it's Halloween, so why not watch a bunch of horror films and celebrate? Which is what I'm going to do. 3 years in a row. This will be my 3rd year anniversary of doing 31 days of Halloween. So make sure you check around or stick around for that. By the way, if you haven't, please do hit that thumbs up button. Be much appreciated. And of course, if you made it this far through my ramblings, please do subscribe to my channel. Hit that notification bell so you're notified every time I do release a new review. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. Have a great day.